Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party touched base with their contacts back in Tortage, trying to see if they could muster their long-building crew of veteran sailors to take them to one of the places that pirates fear above all else, the accursed Suicide Hollow. According to the adventurer who is the supposed captain of your vessel, Suicide Hollow, ever since the ascension of Erica Ray to the title of Brother Cancer a few years ago, the Crimson Raider, disbanded from heaven but not welcome in hell, is forced to wander the world until he can find a pure soul to take his treasure from him. But as a result of several years of failures as corrupt sailors, his old friends from his pirating days, all disappointed him. He has been forced to defend his island from any who have selfish, greedy thoughts of taking treasure for themselves. Ignoring the sailors' warning, the party convinced their friends to muster their courage and put hands to sail and make for Suicide Hollow. However, just as you dropped anchor, the hollow visible in the difference and started making a plan, a new vessel approached, a Britannian ship of the line known as the Rotterdam, captained by Bowman Brand, a famous, or shall we say infamous, pirate hunter. As Paul and Asari went aboard in an attempt to negotiate, the pirate hunter made it clear that she does not believe in surrender or negotiation, only in complete, abject slaughter. Your vessel is dwarfed, nearly a third the size of this massive military machine, and your opponents do not seem to have any sense of mercy or negotiation to their hearts. No quarter will be given, but it'll be up to you if you will offer it. As we dive back in to Under Locks and Keys. Greylog. You're sleeping in the crew's quarters when it happens. The distant sound of cannon fire before you're shocked out of your sleep by a cannonball sailing through your bedroom and splintering the wall. As you shake the sleep from your eyes and look around in confusion and shock, you see out of the newly built porthole the massive hulk of the Rotterdam pulling into view, and you can hear the crew above you panicking as more gunfire is audible. Your ship has been accosted by an unknown party. Greylog, what do you do? Alright, we'll circle back to you.
So they already fired their cannons?
Yeah. Alright, and Greylog's heading up to top deck. And yeah, they've already fired on you. The crew is scattered and panicking and trying to prepare to return fire.
Aven's gonna like look to the guy who's basically the captain. Like, how long do we have until they could shoot us again?
He squints at the row of cannons and lets out a low guttural growl. They're firing only from the deck. Next deck is getting ready. We have 6 seconds.
I thought ships usually fired all of their cannons in one go.
This is not most ships.
Well, then I think it's time this ship got moving.
Full canvas! We make sail! We'll never take the Rotterdam! The crew...
Do you think they're as superstitious as you are?
He looks to the distant island and bites his lip before... We will have to hope as much. And puts his hand on the wheel and starts getting ready to steer this thing to safety. Avaben, you see Greylog emerge from the crew's quarters, and Greylog, you emerge to a deck in chaos. The crew you've assembled over this journey is running to and fro, trying to figure out what to do. But they seem to have settled on, make sail and get this thing moving. And the damage from the cannonballs is still kind of being processed, so to speak. But the ship already doesn't look great. That was a bad hit you just took. While that's happening, I would like everyone to please roll for initiative.
Where the fuck are my dice?
Okay, sorry about that. I had a little bit final work call to take care of.
No worries. Did you hear what I said, or do you need me to repeat?
Roll initiative.
No, I mean, like, did you hear anything before that?
Just that I went up on deck to chaos.
Oh, yeah, you pretty much got the gist of it then.
Okay, what's Avaben's initiative plus? Hang on, let me just... I think I can alt-tab real quick. +4.
Alright, as usual, I'll do the callouts. 25 to 20.
I got a dirty 20.
I got a 21.
Alright.
Oh.
Paul, sorry. 20 to 15.
Cricket.
15 to 10.
10.
Greylog?
3.
Okay.
Oh, no.
He's a little sleepy. He needs to wake up.
Oh,
a little
yeah, he
bit.
did just wake up. That's fair. That's totally fair. Alright.
I do have a question. Didn't we get a long rest and I should have
Yes.
full health?
Yeah, you got a long rest. You're good.
Okay, because it's
All
saying
right.
I'm at 73
Oh,
health.
fine,
I'm
I'll
like,
say my
no.
Okay.
That's the whole what I was thinking the whole time after you said the cannonball went through the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked through the hole. I was thinking, stop blowing
Throwing holes
in.
in my ship. Alright, speaking of. Alright. The Rotterdam and its pirate hunter captain and crew have ambushed you. The initiative order is Paul, Captain Brand, Asari, both of the ships and their respective crews, Avaben, and Greylog. With that, Paul, you stare at Brand, who has just heartlessly opened fire on a crew that was trying to negotiate with her, and she simply pulls 2 flintlocks from her belt and levels them at you. And as there's just this smog of gunpowder in the air, filling the air, making it hard to breathe and hard to see, she just gives a smile and, that is what my friendliness looks like, pirate. What do you do?
Okay.
This is the question. What do you do about that?
Yeah. I prefer really not to get into this fight, but
You should have thought about that before flying that filthy flag.
well, wasn't necessarily my choice, but I say
There's
they fly.
always a choice.
Well, I'm not really on part of the crew, but either way, doesn't really matter. People I care about is on that ship, and I can't have you take it down. And guess I'm gonna attack her.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Alright. Attack.
Nyeh.
24.
All right. She is going to use Belay That.
Belay that.
Does a... Sorry, she's got a big character sheet, sorry. Does a 19 hit?
Hit me? No.
Okay, so as you charge her, she levels her pistol at your leg and fires, but you manage to dodge out of the way. But you realize that was going to be a shot to the knee if that had hit you. I will say, you know now that Belay That, she can attempt as a reaction to shoot you, and if she succeeds, you will immediately stop whatever action you were going to do.
Well, sucks for her.
And a 24 does hit, so and because she couldn't belay you, your action goes through. Roll damage.
I will, you know what? Just because I know Sari's over here, I'll move over here.
Okay.
So 24 does hit.
Yes.
Alright. I do a total of 8 damage, and I swing again.
All right. Swing. And what kind of damage?
Slashing.
Thank you.
I always thought he used the blunt end of his blade.
Yeah, but the long sword doesn't really
It's more for
have-
flavor.
Yeah. It's not doing lethal damage, but he's hitting him.
All right, so 8 damage.
My second attack, 22.
Nice. You slice, and the first hit is it hits. It's just kind of more of a glancing blow, but your next hit finds purchase, and the Bretonnian white is immediately stained with blood. And she gives a grimace, but grins at you from the other side of the blade. Hardly my first time spilling blood. Let's just hope you give as good as you get.
Also, just make sure that was a 22 to hit them. Not damage.
Matthew?
Sorry about that. One more time.
So that was a 22 to hit.
Oh, I see. Okay, that is a hit. Roll damage. Apologies.
Nah, I don't do that much damage unless I'm smiting them. But 4 damage.
All right.
So total of 12.
All right. Thank
He's
you.
really not much of a damage dealer, is he?
Oh, you know, healer and tank.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Sliced. And she still seems confident. She's done this dance before. That the end of your turn, Paul?
Since Asari is next to me, I will then bonus action Shield of Faith on us.
Ooh.
Okay. All right, noted. That the end of your turn?
It is.
She gives you a grin, Paul. Sorry, you're on deck. She gives you a grin, Paul, and let's find out. And she immediately draws 2 pistols, presses them into your chest, and pulls the trigger as she is going to use her double down action. Draws 2 pistols and fires them. What's that?
I said da 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 da.
All right. Does a quick mental math? I need to make sure. Yep. Does a 29 and a 30 hit?
Yes.
All right.
Alright, well, that. Make 2 con saves. Ooh.
Paul, you take 28 piercing damage.
Ooh, just barely, like 28.
Yes.
Now, that's the total of the both attacks?
This is functionally yes.
Okay.
If you need it, one did 7, one did 1, and then it's a plus 20 once both are done.
Okay.
Do you maintain concentration? I'm assuming that's what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's my main thing. I rolled a 23 and a 10.
Okay. So I'm gonna guess. Or actually, wait. Does that mean? I think it means it stays up, right?
I'm trying to think of the rules again. Like, or trying to think what I said.
I think it's 10 or half the damage, whichever's higher.
Yeah.
So that's 16. Since this was technically, because while she had to shoot twice, this was counted as one attack action. So 16. What's that?
I was thinking both. I count. You're saying each attack it's or you're saying the whole action I roll for, not just the attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Just because double down is a specific attack she has.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think you maintain concentration.
Okay.
So yeah, double down. And much like her previous, you're not sure if she's using like a special kind of gunpowder to do this, but again, this blinding smoke is kicked into the air. And you can see her grimace, like dual wielding pistols and firing both of them, and again, seemingly loaded with unstable powder. It takes its toll. And you can see her wince as her hands seem to get burned by the influx of gunpowder. Yep, she rolled too low. Her hands are burned, and she is going to take some fire damage from just holding unstable gunpowder. That is 3 fire damage. For her bonus action...
You can use a bonus action outside of her turn?
Well, it's still her turn.
Yeah, it's still her turn.
Oh, it's her turn now? Oh.
That's why
I thought she was using legendary actions.
No, I'll specify. She does have those, but I'll specify when she's using those. Prestige. Let's see. What? You know what? Paul, given that you've survived her double down and took a strike on her despite being an animalistic pirate, she thinks you're worthy to being challenged to a duel. She's going to use Avasti. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Sounds like what I can do.
Yes, it is. It's literally exactly what you can do.
Wisdom save, right?
Yep.
Avasti, scurvy dog.
Good thing I am a paladin. 21.
All right, you succeed. You are as she throws her fired pistols to the side and reaches to her belt for some more. She levels a pistol at you and Avasti, I challenge you to a duel.
Well, I mean, if I win this duel, could you, stop this whole debacle?
I might consider it.
That I don't mind.
Oh. She actually seems surprised at this, and she turns to you, Asari, and kind of tilts her head, almost seeming like she's going to gauge your reaction to decide what to do next.
Characters
Sorry?
like tilting their head.
Yeah, it's my version of the Matt Mercer gaping maw. Like, it's just one of those little small things that I do a lot. Sorry, you're up. Vaben, you will go after these ships have fired on each other.
Hey,
Keeping track of
so
where the ships are relative to each other in terms of like orientation.
Their relative position is mostly going to stay the same.
Okay. I was just wondering if like you keep a track of which ships have one to their side and which ones don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Or
so
if it's just gonna be like automatic hits every turn.
no, yeah, they are rolling to hit. Asari, you're up.
Okay, so does it look like she's not attacking at the moment?
She's definitely not stopping the onslaught, but she, basically, unless you want to roll insight to confirm, she has thrown down the gauntlet to Paul, and has seemingly agreed that if Paul beats her in a one-on-one duel, she will abandon this fight.
Alright. I'll say, alright, if that's the case, call off your dogs and we'll continue this duel for you.
I don't think so.
Alright, so I will, as an action, just say to her, and I'm casting a spell, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, then that makes you no worse than a pirate. And I will cast Crown of Madness on her.
Okay.
I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yep. DC?
16, I think. Yep, 16.
And what condition is this considered? I don't know if this counts. Charm?
I think it's charmed. I think it's charmed, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically. I think it states that like you can choose the opponent. If there's no opponent, then I don't. Then it's it just kind of attacks whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Astari, you cast your spell. The crown begins to take root. But Bowman just looks up to it, scowls, and shakes her head, her red hair flying, and the crown disappears. She is immune to being charmed.
Hang on, let's see. Is it what's it called again?
What's that?
Crown of Madness.
Yeah.
It's a charm. It is charm. So, but it's just its particular charm is that you can force it to attack a different opponent.
Anything else on your turn, Astari?
Let's see, what
Weird
can I
name
do
for
as
that kind of ability.
let's see, what else can I do as a bonus action? I don't think I have any bonus actions.
Okay.
Yeah, it is charmed.
All right.
Oh no, that's just a like. Am I just like tripping, or is that like kind of a weird name for what it actually does?
Well, because bear in mind, it's a crown appears on your head, and you go mad and start attacking your friends.
Essentially, yeah.
So it is a literal crown of madness. Bowman is going to use a legendary action. She turns to you, Asari, scowls, and I am not a pirate. And she's going to fire her pistol at you.
Okay. Do this fucking thing.
Does a 19 hit?
Yeah, it hits.
Wait, what's your AC?
15?
Okay, never mind. I was like, because you have a +2, so.
So yeah, it would have still hit. Thank you, though. Asari, the pistol strikes you just below like your left shoulder, and you take 6 piercing damage. But you also notice something. You've been shot during this adventure before. This is not your first rodeo.
Right.
But you notice the other one's
Wait.
hurt. What's that?
Hold on.
What's going on?
Now, could I sentinel? When a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack against the attacking creature.
I don't see why you couldn't.
Love it.
Sentinel.
Love Sentinel.
That seems like a pretty good ability.
It's
is.
very
I
good.
love
The
I love
biggest
Sentinel.
thing is if you hit them and with an opportunity attack, it drops their speed to 0, which is like a lot of.
So yeah, that basically keeps them locked in place as long as you can keep hitting them. But this doesn't stop her from making her attack, right?
Yeah, no, it's just
Okay.
I get an opportunity.
And out of curiosity, can like high level like player characters get legendary actions?
No, that is exclusively a
Okay,
monster
so
thing
it's
because
like a boss thing.
well, yeah, because otherwise, like even the high level monsters would be kind of useless.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it was like a level 20 thing.
There's
Or
a little
Yeah.
person in my yard. God, he's so cute.
I will use inspiration because
Yeah, go for it.
17.
To hit,
Yes.
that is a miss, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I thought so.
Paul, as you see her pulling a pistol on Asari, you swing your blade, but she pulls another pistol and basically uses the butt end of it to like block your blade with a kunk, and fires into Asari's shoulder. Asari, you immediately take 6 piercing damage, and as mentioned, you've been shot on this journey before, but you're racked with this sudden, unexpected pain. And Paul, you and Asari both see, Asari, your wound begins to just spurt blood as you realize her aim was precise enough to strike an artery. You get a stack of bleed and take 7 necrotic damage on top of the piercing.
That's a homebrew mechanic.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that
Not
was
as
7?
much damage as I thought it was going to be.
Bear in mind, the
It
bleed
bleeds.
stacks.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
it stacks and also it's constant, so it's just they don't have to do damage to you. It's still do damage.
So do they get the bonus damage every time they apply a new stack?
If you're curious, it stacks to a maximum of 3 times, each stack doing 2d6 necrotic at the start of the creature's turn. And you can only get rid of it using a DC 15 medicine check that takes an action.
Oh.
And even then, that's to get rid of one of the up to 3 stacks.
And do you take damage every time a stack is applied?
Yeah, because you're bleeding.
I'm bleeding out here.
Yeah, I'm bleeding out. But yeah, so sorry, that is 6 piercing and 7 necrotic.
Yep, I got it. Thank you.
All right, end of your turn.
Yep.
All right.
End of the turn.
That takes us away from the stern of the ship. Let's move our camera over to the bow where Avabin and Greylog are and see how the ships are holding up.
We're on their ship?
No.
No, like I have to go to the bow so that the us and the audience can see the breaker because the Rotterdam is so huge I couldn't fit it on one map. All right. First, the ships are going to fire at each other. Where are you? There's my DM dice. I'll use this one for the breaker, this one for the Rotterdam. Ugh, bad on both. The Rotterdam fires, but as mentioned, the cannons are... This ship is a fair sight bigger than yours. The cannons are pretty high up, and while they've attempted to maneuver them, the shots still either go wide or some of them hit, but just don't really make a deep enough impact to be meaningful. However, Avabin and Greylog, you hear explosions from below deck as either someone got unlucky and a powder keg was hit or someone accidentally loosed it too early, and an explosion happens below deck as a few of your cannons are destroyed in a keg explosion.
They nat 1.
Yes. However, the Rotterdam didn't do any damage to you, so there's that.
We
You got
take
that going
damage
for you.
from that.
What's that? Oh, not from the explosion. However, it has disabled a few of your cannons.
Oh boy.
We're just gonna look to the acting captain like, alright, I think we need to establish some things. What advantages do we have?
You.
I mean, it's a smaller ship, isn't it? You know, maybe faster, more maneuverable.
We need to raise anchor and we have skeleton crew. We will try, but... And he begins turning the wheels. You can't see the sails are being deployed. I don't know how far we will get. No one has ever outrun the Rotterdam.
Well, if they don't back off whenever we get closer to the island, then we may have to... Are there any, like... I'm trying to think of, like, an analogy here, like a little animal that beats a bigger one in our setting.
Basilisk?
Does a basilisk just do it because of its magical ability?
Yep.
Okay, I'm talking more specifically like like something that does it by being like, you know, a smaller target and stuff like that.
I guess the rat and the cat. That's a classic one.
I mean, do rats ever bite back?
Yeah, so that's the saying. The cornered rat bites back.
Okay. I guess that'll have to do. I guess if they corner us between that island, we'll have to make like the rat and bite back.
We'll have no other option.
What I
Begin to hoist
understand,
anchor!
I guess to have a plan. From what I understand of these ships, all the guns are on the side, right?
Broadsides, yes. Although the Rotterdam does possess chase cannons.
But I'd imagine their forward guns are less than our broadside guns.
Yes.
So, I guess we need to try and... Well, I guess it's probably pretty obvious to say we need to avoid their broadside. Maybe we can circle them somehow? So they can't get their broadside on us?
We will try. And he begins to spin the wheel and gives the order for the anchor to be hoisted so the ship can actually move, although the sails are deployed at this point.
Also, after he says that, he's gonna look to his two companions like, do either of you know how to swim?
I know how to swim from, at least in rivers. The ocean's just a big river, right? What about you all? No.
I don't either.
Well, then best thing to do is make sure that we don't sink, yeah? But she ducks as a musket ball narrowly misses her. And the first mate near you, Ivaben, gives out a call. Incoming boarders! Prepare to repel! Hold your ground!
How did they get on?
Well, they're not actually getting on. As a layer action, the Rotterdam is going to open fire with their muskets.
So we're not being boarded, we're being shot at by musket fire.
Yeah, but bear in mind, all they know is the ship's like easily within boarding distance, and you're being shot at with personal arms now, so they probably expect boarding to happen shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm assuming there's nothing Avaven can really... I mean, unless we're close enough that I can shoot an arrow back at them.
Actually, you can.
They're not that far.
Interesting, interesting.
Look
I
at the
can't
map,
see the map, so...
if you look at this, well, yeah, you're on the game.
Yeah, Austin's streaming it, but I know you're gaming. All right, so I'll say
okay.
Paul,
Can I?
Sorry, Greylog.
Wait. Didn't they already take their turn?
No, this is a layer action, which goes on initiative 20 but loses initiative ties. A layer action is something that a high-level monster can do if they're on what is considered their lair, such as a captain with their ship, and on initiative round 20, they can do something with the lair itself to protect themselves. In this case, she is using the open fire layer action. Bowman's crew fires on all enemy party members. One musket shot is fired at each party member.
Well, I have an AC of 17, so you know if it hits or not.
All right, so you get hit. Paul does a 18 hit.
Man, sometimes I feel like I could have like a freaking like AC of like 30, and I would.
Bear in mind, you're getting it to the high levels, like high AC. Like a lot of this is going to be saving throws, and for AC, the modifiers are so high that it's genuinely difficult.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I've never. Like, I almost feel like I've never had a character who didn't get hit.
Bear in mind, if I roll a 10 with this right now, you would have to have an AC of 22 or higher to not be hit.
Yeah, I get it. I get their high level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, it's just like something funny I thought of. I was like, man, when's the last time one of my characters didn't get hit by an attack?
I'm sure it's there, just negativity bias. Yeah, so Paul,
yeah,
18
you know
hit.
how it is.
They're shooting me as well?
Yeah, they shoot all party members.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have anything I can
It does not hit.
Okay, so yours misses. Asari does a quick mental math. Does a 30 hit.
Holy shit!
So what? 11. Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Greylog does 14 hit.
No, because my AC is actually 18.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Paul, you see Bowman fire one of their pistols into the air, getting the crew's attention as they ready their rifles to start shooting down the Breaker's crew. Open fire with the long arms! And blinding smoke and deafening gunfire. Paul, you raise your shield as a musket ball pings off. Greylog, you hit the deck as a musket ball narrowly misses you. Avaben and Asari, you both take bullets. Where's my... There you are. You both take 10 piercing damage. That is the ships and the lair action done. Avaben, you're up. Greylog on deck.
So, okay, some real quick questions here.
Okay.
If I fire something at that ship, is it damage that ship?
So, yeah, this is actually... I know that this is going to be... Since we don't typically play at the high levels, this is going to be something new for you guys. Situations like this, where there is... Also, Austin, a little bit of static from your mic.
Yeah, you're hearing vibrations.
With situations like this, there is actually a mechanic for it. Yes, you can absolutely shoot at the ship and damage it. However, there is a thing with situations like this called damage threshold. There is going to be a certain amount of damage you have to meet or higher in order for the damage to stick. Basically, you can't shoot an arrow at it, do like 5 damage, and have that like contribute to the ship sinking. However, if you manage to strike something critical or really hard, then yeah, you can do some substantial damage that will actually stick.
Alright. So, alright, I played Black Flag. Do they have powder kegs on the deck?
I will say yes, they do. And I will also add, if you wish, you can target the ship directly to impact its health, or you can pick a critical area that is weaker, and if you destroy it, it will not sink the ship, but it will prevent them from benefiting from that thing. The Rotterdam's criticals that you can hit are the helm, basically their steering wheel, their sails, their gun decks, or their chase guns.
Alright. So, alright, so can Avaven target one of the powder kegs on deck with an explosive arrow to try and make it explode on top of the arrow's explosion? Basically, could the like 2 explosions like possibly damage the ship and but also like injure crew members?
I'll allow you to try. I'll tell you what. If you're willing to take disadvantage on the roll, I will let you try.
Hold on. Damn it! That's right. You don't give inspiration on this campaign.
Well, you do have some. Or wait, did you use yours already?
I can't. Didn't I get 2 as Caleb? Can I use one of Caleb's?
No, you didn't.
Can I use Caleb's inspiration?
You cannot.
Can't defeat the whole purpose.
I
You can
can't.
still hit.
I don't remember having inspiration. Well, it's not on the character sheet at the moment, so I guess we're just gonna have to roll with it.
I think I legit do remember you using it in the last session.
Man, I can't honestly remember half the shit that happens in the last session.
Yeah, so it's up to you. What do you want to do?
Why is it disadvantage for me to shoot something?
Because it's a smaller target that basically you can't like graze it and have it have the same impact.
Hold on. Dimensions of a barrel.
Are we doing this? Like, DM says you have disadvantage. Roll.
All right. This dice fucked me, so let's try the other dice. Okay, okay, so the first roll is a 28, and the second roll is... The second roll was going to be higher, so 28.
Yeah, you only needed to roll a 10 to make this shot, so...
Oh, so I literally can't miss unless I
Yeah.
roll in that one.
Yeah.
You're all worried.
Okay. I thought it was going to be a lot higher.
Well, you're shooting a functionally inanimate object.
Alright, so it's going to be with an explosive arrow.
Alright.
Also, this can... Okay, so how is sneak attack going to work with this kind of battle?
I'm gonna say that, given that you're shooting the object, I'm gonna say sneak attack doesn't apply to this, but you are gonna set off the powder keg.
Alright, very well.
I actually need more dice than what I had prepped. This is gonna do more damage than the cannonballs themselves do.
Raven's going to rain explosive arrows on them.
Alright. So yeah, you've already rolled a hit. Explosive arrow, believe, is that a save or is it just extra damage? I don't remember.
I don't fucking know because I had to
Here,
put it as a... Oh, here, I have explosive arrows as an example. That explodes on impact with a target when using this arrow. You name your target and fire it from a bow. If it hits, it deals normal damage 1d8 for a longbow, 1d6, plus an additional 1d8 radiant damage when the arrow is destroyed.
Okay.
So basically, it's not a save. They get hit by this explosive damage no matter what.
Okay, so
if I hit the shot.
Yeah, so, and you're aiming for the barrel, so your arrow's explosion is actually going to be pretty inconsequential, but as mentioned, the powder keg going off is going to be pretty friggin' devastating. I legit do not have enough d6s to do this all at once. I'm going to have to do an extra one. Okay.
I guess just for the sake of completion, the 1d8 is going to do 7, and then I add what?
Your dex modifier.
Yeah, I already did that.
Oh, so then just the...
And then plus 1d8 radiant.
Yeah, d8 radiant,
Just for the sake of... does... It... Okay, so for the purposes of Colossus, should I count the ship as the one that needs to be damaged, or the barrel?
Yeah, I'm going to say count the ship. You're targeting the ship.
Has the ship been damaged?
Yes, it has. You did a little...
So that's 10 damage from the explosive arrow, and then from Colossus Slayer is going to make it 14. I have a feeling that probably doesn't meet the threshold.
Technically, because remember, it's the threshold that happens all at once, and your attack is also igniting the gunpowder. So 14 from that, thank you very much. And I will roll to see how they fare against the keg. Let's see how a ship is at making deck saves.
I can't imagine ships are very good at
that. Yeah, -3. They're terrible at it. That's a 3, so no.
0.
No, like it was a stick, so it became a 3.
Oh, okay.
That would have been funny though. Alright, this is gonna be 7d6 damage on top of the 14 from Colossus Slayer. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16... 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 30 plus 14, 44. Yeah, you easily beat the threshold. The Rotterdam takes... Let me pull up its health. Where did I put you? There you are.
What is the Rotterdam's threshold?
The damage level is 20. Basically, if you need to do 20 or higher for your damage to actually do anything.
It is actually possible for me to do that with just an explosive arrow. I would just have to roll pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly kind of rolled low. Like, it was all like the first, like my arrow damage roll was literally a 1 plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I rolled like a 3, and then I rolled like a 4.
All right.
So I didn't roll that well. Like, if I rolled decently, I bet I could probably make that.
All right. And since you were targeting the gun deck, you do not take out all of the gun deck, but you do cripple it. Avaben, as you see one of the gunners loading up, You squint against the sunlight, pull back an explosive arrow, take careful aim. The arrow sails into the gun port, impacts the powder keg. The pirate hunter has just enough time to look confused before, and then you see another as other nearby kegs get caught in the blast and set off.
And I want to know what that was like from their ship.
Yeah, Paul, sorry, as you're fighting bowmen themselves, you feel the Rotterdam rattle as a Vaben basically takes out half the gun deck in one go. Actually, more than half. He took out.
Oh wait, Matthew.
Yes.
But wait, there's more. That was only my first attack.
That is true. What would you like to do now?
Yeah, plus.
Let's do the same thing and hope I don't roll a 1.
All right, so you're gonna go for a keg again?
Yeah.
All right, roll to attack, disadvantage.
You would have disadvantage anyway. Because it's daytime, you have disadvantage because you're blind.
All I gotta do is not roll a 1, and I succeed this because its DC is 10 and my plus is 13.
Well,
Technically, I could guarantee it. I could actually. Matthew could.
No.
Hold on before. Can the Forge Cast Pistol one-shot this ship with its ability?
The ship is not a creature.
Damn.
That would be
You
funny
can't-
though. That would be really funny. But no, it does not. The ship is not a creature. It does not work that way.
Damn. Out of curiosity, you know what I'm going to be getting at. Does a cancer ship count as a creature?
What do you mean?
Because of her ability with her ship that we talked
Oh,
about.
I see. No, that's technically still a construct.
Okay, just making sure. Alright, so yeah, we'll just so the first roll would have been, let's see, 19 plus 30, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, the first roll was a 19, it wasn't a 1. Second roll was the same thing, so it's going to be in total 19 plus 13, so it's
Alright.
okay.
Roll your Colossus Slayer damage. The ship fails the deck save.
Let me roll my, let's see, so first off, you roll a d8 for that, so that's going to be 10 damage from the arrow. The explosion from the arrow is going to do 1 damage, so that's, what, 11 damage? And then the Colossus Slayer is going to do 1 more damage, so 12 damage. Like I said, I'd have to roll well to beat it alone. But then, of course, powder keg damage.
Okay. And give me your total. Give me your total again. I was tallying up the powder keg.
I got 12 damage from the explosive arrow and Colossus Slayer.
Thank you. Avaben, realizing that you've got something going here. At the very least, it'll get rid of the gun deck. You knock an arrow, pull back, fire. Another powder keg, blast. And as this spreads, you basically, you almost Hawkeye it. Like, the explosion from that keg hits all the areas that were spared from the first one. And you watch almost in bemused enjoyment as the gun deck basically goes up in smoke, and you can see some of the cannons, as the floor gets more and more weakened by the blast and holes are blasted into it, some of the cannons literally fall into the floor and smash through the deck of the ship into, the lower gun decks. You have cut off this broadside from further harassing you.
So the whole broadside is just gone?
Yep. But they still have their chase guns.
What are the reactions to 2 arrows taking out an entire broadside?
Let's find out. Is that the end of your turn, Avaben?
I did more than I thought I could.
Alright. Avaben, the enemy ship begins to almost panic as they were not expecting this tiny brigantine to put up such a fight. They thought this was just going to be an easy hit and run. Did not go as planned.
And I wonder how many days that's going to put this ship out of action.
Yeah. Greylog, you're up. Paul on deck.
I've been waiting for this.
What are you going to do?
I am casting a 7th level spell.
Okay.
I am casting Firestorm, and I'm aiming. I can cast. It consists of up to 10-foot cubes, which I will have positioned all along the bottom part of their ship, encircling it along the bottom part. And I need it to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say a 7 does not beat it.
No, it does not.
Okay.
Let's see. Rolling some
I think I
nice
died in my game while I was doing all that. Because I just come back. I'm in the same spot, but there's a chest next to me full of crap I think I might have had on myself. Yeah, I think I might have died.
Alright.
And that was 37 fire damage.
Noted, noted, noted. You take on the threshold easily.
Threshold, like, take damage away, or is it
Oh,
just
no. You
one...
basically, as long as you meet it or get higher than your damage just is applied as normal. It's basically how much damage you would realistically have to do to even affect something this big and strong.
Gotcha.
Alright. Any other effects or just the damage?
Oh, let me double check.
More importantly, does it burn?
Well, yeah, it'll, like, the fire damages objects in the area and ignites flammable objects that aren't being worn or carried.
Okay.
So any powder kegs that would have been in the area would be set on fire.
But you're aiming for the water line, so that isn't going to factor in just yet.
Just yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Does the ship itself count as being carried?
No, so I am, I was going to say, once he was finished with his turn, yes, the ship does begin to catch fire at the water line.
Let's see, do I have any bonus actions that I can do?
Tis a vehicle.
I guess, I'm gonna summon my, Wildfire Spirit as my bonus action.
Okay. You summon your wildfire spirit to bear, as the crew seems concerned about the risk of boarders attempting to get on the ship.
That ship probably thinks they've been boarded by saboteurs.
Yeah, right? Paul, we're at the top of the round. Bowman looks just kind of nonplussed as your crew begins to run and scream about the cannons going, we've lost the starboard broadside, the water line's on fire. She grabs a running crewman nearby and practically just seethingly hisses. Start pumping the bilge to put out the fire and move around to get our chase guns to bear. And shoves him away as she draws her pistol back on you, Paul, and levels another one at Asari on her opposite side, splitting the difference between you. And I bet you pirates think you're very clever. Unfortunately, as a Britannian, I'm far smarter than any of you animals. You can never hope to sink the Rotterdam.
Well, I mean, it does help that I'm not really a pirate, but...
Matthew, I hope you can feel me squinting at you.
Not a pirate? Then what are you doing on a pirate vessel, crewed by pirates? Why are you not in chains?
Well, we hired them to sail for us, mainly. Not for any plundering of sorts, just simply an escort.
An escort.
Correct.
We did what many men won't do, and that's take us to that island. And I'll point to Suicide Hollow.
And what could possibly drive you to sail to Suicide Hollow?
There's
A friend is in danger.
Yes, an acquaintance of ours is happened to be on that island.
A friend of yours, eh? I'll be sure to search the island once I'm done killing you all. A friend of a pirate is an enemy of Britannia.
Well, as I
And
said,
can you just get it ahead that we're not pirates? We're just working with the pirates. So it doesn't make us pirates.
Then that makes you even worse. An ally to pirates. She levels her pistols.
I'll just kind of
You're
like
not gonna talk reason
push
to her.
myself against it, and I'll just say, well, that means you are too, with the amount of gold you have on the ship.
Gold? You really think I sail for something as trifling as gold?
I'm sure you have got something on this ship.
I sail for one reason and one reason alone. I sail to rid the ocean of filth like you. I'm gonna need both of you to make me a charisma saving throw.
Saving throw. Interesting.
yeah. Also, how far is Asari from here?
Asari is currently get to my battle map here. Yeah, I'll switch us back over now that we're back to the main one, or back to the stern deck, I should say. Asari is 15 feet from you.
Okay, I don't think it applies. I think she's
Okay.
just shy.
All right. So yeah, charisma saving throw from both of you, please.
I got my roll.
All right. Asari.
26. No, 28. Sorry.
Okay. Paul.
Let's see. I rolled pretty good. Ooh, okay, never mind. I rolled shitty. 13. Everybody shitty.
Asari, you're not particularly worried. You know, you think your crew's gotten out of tighter spots before. Paul, as another explosion in the gun deck rings out, you see Bowman, this reaper of pirates, silhouetted by smoke and death, and you don't even know if your friends have survived the broadsides or not. You feel fear begin to overtake you.
Wait.
You are now paralyzed until the end of your next turn.
No, wait, is she frightening me?
Yes.
I cannot be frightened.
Okay.
My aura of courage. I cannot be frightened.
All right, noted.
I can't be charmed or frightened.
Remembering your oath, you steel yourself, steady your gaze. She kind of looks almost, you would think, impressed. I'll give you this. You're the first pirates I've seen that don't go down squealing like rats.
Well, maybe it's because we're not pirates.
Paul, what are you going to do? Your action will decide her reaction.
I will. Guess I'll look to the ship and be like, from what it seems, you don't really. Your chances of winning this fight is getting ever so increasing less. I would highly recommend stopping this so that your crew doesn't go under.
And what, I just let you walk free, is that it?
Pretty much, yes.
Astari, roll persuasion flat.
Alright.
To her
Come
credit,
on,
she
go.
seems to respect that, A, you're insisting up and down that you aren't pirates to begin with, and B, she seems impressed that you were actually able to resist being just flatly terrified of her like most pirates are.
Okay, so persuasion.
Yeah, this is a flat roll. Paul managed to talk you out of disadvantage.
Hey.
That would be a 22.
She considers for a moment before pulling the hammers on her pistols back and leveling them. On one condition.
I kind of raise my eyebrow.
You take me with you. This friend of yours on the island, is he a pirate?
No.
No, of course not.
He's more of a merchant, from what I've been told.
That's what they all say. I'll get the information straight from the Tyrandrus's mouth, as it were. If he corroborates your story, you get to live. If I find out you're lying to me, that you proudly sail the black flag and remove good people's lives from the sea in exchange for your own gain, you can destroy my cannons all you like. I can rebuild. Cannons can be replaced. But I will slaughter your entire crew, down to the last woman and child.
Well,
Do we have an understanding?
I have nothing to hide, so I
Ah,
understand.
famous. Well, we've got nothing to hide. Come along.
So,
Hold your fire! We come aboard!
Do we hear this?
Yes, and all at once, the gunfire slows and stops.
Ravens just looks to the acting captain. Did we just win?
No. No one negotiates with the bowman. Avaben, Greylog, you see the titular captain herself lean over. You get your first look at her. Greylog, since you were not here for her first description. You see a Bretonnian woman, human from the looks of it, a long head of flowing red hair, wearing proudly a Bretonnian Admiralty uniform, although noticeably not wearing the hat that typically accompanies it, just letting her hair flow freely. Her skin is pallid and pale, a very odd complexion for someone who's often at sea, but she carries herself with this intimidating grace that speaks to a woman who has shed countless blood and feels no remorse, sleeps like a baby at night despite all the people she's killed.
So she's a pirate, more or less of her own, just doesn't go by the name of pirate.
She only attacks those who sail the black flag.
yeah.
Congratulations, animals! Your chattering parrots just negotiated you a truce.
Sorry, kind of has that. Who are you calling a parrot look?
Why, I'm referring to you, dear. The creature that imitates a Bretonnian voice, yet doesn't speak one properly.
Excuse me. I think you are incorrect.
You're allowed to be wrong. Lower the gangplank! The pirates come aboard the Rotterdam.
Can we make a counter offer for that one?
You're not in a position to negotiate, friend. You're in a position to beg.
That's the
Well-
person whose entire broadside is destroyed.
Your mast is hanging on by a thread. I have my men fire one good clean shot from the chase guns, and you're stranded out here.
Guys, it's alright. We've got nothing to hide. You know, it's alright.
Blow up those chase guns like I did the other ones.
Because, okay, here's the thing. When you say you want us on board, just me and him and our other companions, or all the crew as well?
All the crew. If you truly
what
have
happens
nothing
to
to
the ship?
hide. Your ship's at anchor, is it not? It waits here. That way you can't sneak away from the island with treasure in tow from under my nose. You kill me, you betray me, or sneeze in a way that I think is inappropriate. I have the power to strand you here.
Yeah, and I have the power to blow up your cannons.
Either way.
I don't think what she likes. It's just better to agree with someone with a low intelligence.
Yeah.
In my experience, that usually leads to disaster. Where I'm from, low intelligence gets people killed.
I'm inclined to agree. Perhaps we should go back to shooting at each other.
I don't think that'd be wise, but I will warn you about what you're asking of us. I hear about this place being quite
Curse.
not safe. More or less, I hear if you're here to gain something, then
Curses. Primitive superstition.
Well, it's on her head.
I mean,
To be quite honest, if one person messes up, everyone's going to suffer in this case.
You have nothing to fear from me, pirate. I want for nothing. I have everything I could possibly want
that
right
is more.
there. And she points to all of you on the breaker.
Let's just get this over with, shall we?
Also, I was wondering, I guess now that you mentioned this, why are you out here?
She kind of glances your way and... Your friends, are they pirates?
No.
A gangplank is hoisted and thrown to make up the substantial height difference, mostly, between the Rotterdam and the breaker. And Paul and Asari, you are free to return to the breaker via the gangplank if you wish. That's the route she's taking. I was out here chasing a dangerous fugitive. A pirate captain with multiple murders and acts of cannibalism on his arrest warrant. He was last seen in this area. I came looking. Your ship matched the description I was given of the vessel he was last seen on.
Does this sound anywhere familiar to me?
Roll history.
You
Who
have a
might this
name.
captain be?
Real name is unknown. Alias Red.
Do I recognize this?
Roll history.
No.
23.
Greylog?
18.
The two of you don't... Greylog, you certainly don't know the name from nautical folklore. However, Paul and Anna have both spoken of a former traveling companion of theirs that matched that description.
No, I was like, what? Red? No, it all clicks together. He's still alive.
You know him.
So I'm thinking to myself, but yes, I used to travel with him. Wasn't quite fond of him.
You seem to have a bad habit of traveling with pirates.
Well, as for that one, he left a while ago, so his whereabouts are unknown to me.
My last report says that he was seen in this region, terrorizing the good people of the colony on the mainland. I came here to put a stop to it, as is my sovereign duty. I've already sunk a few suspicious traveling vessels passing through this area. Yours matched the description I was given perfectly, and I decided better safe than sorry. I hope you know I intend to have my men search this place from every last nail and plank. If I find that you're harboring this man from me, well, let's just say Britannian justice is rather unfriendly.
I'm
no,
telling
we
you
know
this
it.
right now. I'm gonna tell you
They've-
this right now. If you find him, that means he smuggled himself on our ship without us knowing.
And you, Dark Elf?
He's gonna say, I'm pretty sure Britannian justice is a contradiction of terminology.
Fancy words from a Dark Elf. Get tired of poisoning people?
Oh no. It's perfectly fine. Especially whenever it's a certain kind of people.
Indeed. And to be clear, I've already offered the terms of surrender to your companions. She gestures to the two who she'd been fighting. But so that every last filthy sea dog on this vessel is clear, if you continue to aggravate and upset me, or attempt to betray me in any way, all of my men will have a standing order until told otherwise. If I fail to return, or give an order, slaughter the crew. And she locks eyes with you, Vaben. Start with the passengers.
Well, how long are you talking here?
Until our search of the island to find this fugitive concludes. If you are speaking the truth and that there is an innocent man of the seas aboard that island, then it is the Britannian way that we should rescue him. And if your other words are true, well, I have it on reliable sources that this dangerous man is on this island, or at the very least haunting these seas. If we could find him, more's the better, and I can get evidence from him that you speak the truth. And if you'll allow me to leave with this man, well, you can all avoid taking his place at the hangman's noose. Do we have an accord?
Sounds good to me. I don't owe that guy anything, so you can have him.
I would like to speak with them first, see what's going on. Well, he does seem rash, and seems like he will get himself in trouble easily, but from what I'm hearing doesn't sound like him.
She kind of stares at you, but doesn't actively comment. Then we have a deal. All prisoners aboard the Rotterdam. We set our course for Suicide Hollow. Let us prove all this curse nonsense is nothing more than superstition. The only treasure I seek is one less dangerous man that the good people of this world have to fear at night.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll just meet up with Greylog and just kind of whisper in his ear. She's incorrigible. God.
He's not going to see what just went through his head. Because the first that went through his, yeah, because the first that went through his head was, oh, that's Britannians for you.
Astari's met her match, and Avaven's seen how much worse it could be.
So how bad does the Britannian ship look, though?
It looks fine. Like, you guys did take out the broadside, but the ship's actual physical integrity is because the fires are already being put out, and the actual damage they did was fairly negligible. Like, yes, their cannons did lower their ability to directly retaliate, but she wasn't kidding. Your mast is hanging by a thread and a few splinters, and one more good round probably would have stranded you out here. Not to mention, if the cannons went down, she could always just board you, where she outnumbers you like 20 men to 1.
Yeah, fair.
With negotiations concluded, she snaps her fingers, and a boarding party of sailors begin to, with bayoneted muskets in hand, board the breaker and immediately begin to search it thoroughly. You see some climbing up to the crow's nest where the wood elf has his hands up. You can see some already heading to the below decks to start interrogating people and checking every barrel. And she's given the order. Either join her on the Rotterdam or see if you can pilot a brig with 1 or 2 people.
I'm gonna go onto the Rotterdam, but while I'm going, do I happen to see anywhere like? Do I happen to see what's that little guy? The one that's always following us, taking shit. Do I see him?
Halfling?
Yeah. Do I see them working their way over there?
Roll perception.
Cause he's got this bad habit of always following us. So 24.
As you're crossing the gangplank, you look down and see the massive holes that Avaben bit into the Rotterdam's gun decks, and you're able to just make out from a small opening on one of your ship's gun ports. You catch just the literal tail end of a halfling tail disappearing into the splinters of the gun deck.
He's gonna chuckle. Like he's just saying this in his head. Of course he's here. He can't resist.
Greylog, as you board the Rotterdam, you see Bowman has returned to the ship's wheel and is just staring at Suicide Hollow impassively. This kind of slow thinking look on her face, kind of lost in thought.
So I know you're probably busy, but I am curious why you hate pirates so much. I know they're horrible animals, as you put it, but a lot of people tend to have like a story behind it. So what's your personal vendetta against them, if you don't mind me asking?
Real quick, who else is boarding the Rotterdam, just so I know who's privy to what she says?
Yeah, I'll board.
Paul?
Yes, I guess I'll board again.
Alright, Avaben?
Yeah, Vaven will, but despite his protest earlier, suddenly he's decided he'd rather his companions come with him.
Yeah, which they kind of nod in agreement, and they already have bayonet and musket soldiers leveling shit at their necks to keep them going. So, yeah, they're content to board with you. And you all hear as Greylog questions Bowman, and there's a pause as obviously your ship has to be searched for a hot sec before you set sail again. And Bowman sighs and kind of stares at you, Greylog, and glances to the rest of your companions as you approach. Because pirates by nature are despicable. They care for nothing except their own personal gain. Think of this. Do you know what their so-called republic possesses? The sort of ships they've built? The sort of wealth they've accrued?
Yeah, we've seen it a little bit.
Then why don't they stop?
Yeah.
Maybe because if they stopped, you would acquire more wealth than them and wipe them off the map, as Bretonians are wont to do. They tend to not like others. They let them gone so they can take what they have.
Ah, so it's appropriate for others to do the same as long as they're not Bretonian, is that it?
It's appropriate for
I
others
mean, I
to do what they
completely
must
resent-
to protect.
I completely resent that. I mean, I don't think Bretonians are that way. A shield.
Your people literally sail to other parts of the world just to take over their lands.
So do Geograns and like other countries.
Do Geograns actually leave their continent?
Granted, they don't leave their continent, but I will say they do intend to. They just haven't found the land they're looking for yet.
A lot of different people do that, Avaben. It's a part of.
Because other people do it, does that make it right?
I mean, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying other people do it.
An academic, have you ever heard about whataboutism?
Fuck no, that's not even a thing.
It's whenever you're presented with a challenge, you respond by accusing others of doing the same thing. To basically try to downplay them.
And it feels like you're trying to downplay the reality that in this world, it's just how things are. I mean, how else are you supposed to get land and country other than...
you'd be content with what you already have, like she said.
If only the rest of your demented species could see it that way.
I don't care what the rest of my species thinks. I stopped caring about them a long time ago. You know, just like they don't care about me, in case you haven't noticed.
She kind of quirks a brow and glances to you, Greylog. Matters of state aside, if simply doing this out of the goodness of my heart is not a good enough reason for you, then you're part of the problem. But if it makes you feel more inclined to believe me, pirates killed my father, and his father before him.
Oh, by all means, I'm not saying that doing it out of the goodness of your heart isn't enough. I was just wondering if there's like your dad being killed is more of like a more, how to put this, words have never been my specialty, personal reason.
I don't sail out of personal vendetta. My vendetta is purely an ethical one. I cannot abide those who take that which does not belong to them.
Then how do you live in Britannia?
She kind of rolls her eyes and... Offering aid to less civilized nations is not an act of war.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You think you're just automatically better than everyone, which is why it's impossible to get any.
I mean, we are. But clearly more...
I'm not getting into this. We're just gonna go around in circles. Who's better, who's not.
And on the topic of resenting remarks, while you're on my ship, and she kind of waves her hand vaguely at you, sorry, you are not a Britannian. You may be on a Britannian ship and flying a Britannian flag and speaking a Britannian tongue, but a true Britannian would not be in the precarious position in which you currently find yourself. As far as I'm concerned, you're a monster with an accent. Are we clear?
No, actually, we're not. Because I was born in that, like, area. And
accidents happen.
Ooh.
Yeah, you see, this is the problem whenever people think they're better than everyone. It's not just Britannians either. I find this to be a species issue.
I'm going to let that go. I'm going to be the bigger person. And I'm going to let that slide.
If your words to me are honest, you have nothing to fear from me. I only bring death and destruction to those that deserve it. However, I will reiterate, I suggest not irritating me either. I'm not a woman famous for my patience.
Do I seem patient to you?
If only I had the silent spell.
Oh, I have something just as effective. She snaps her finger and muskets are leveled at all of you. Sit down, shut up, and tell me where we're going. And if anyone makes a sassy remark about how that's incongruous with my previous order, you will be the first to be shot.
As far as where we're going, I know we're going to the island, but do I remember where exactly?
No specific directions were given.
It said island.
The only direction is the island. That's all he gave us.
Very well.
He probably doesn't know the area well enough to give us specific locations. He was sailing and got absconded by some ships with no flag.
Is that so? I'll have to keep a lookout then.
Yeah, and said something about a beast hunting them or something.
Yeah, I just realized.
Yeah, the beast is
maybe
red.
it has something to do with this pirate you're chasing after.
The man is a known cannibal. We've been hunting him for years. If it's a predator your man fears, well, he wouldn't be off the mark, to say the least.
But you won't be too upset if this, like, if it is a beast or if it's this red pirate. If he just ends up getting killed during all of this, do you need him to survive? Or if he's dead, is that satisfactory?
Death is satisfactory. While I have been, shall we say, encouraged by the Crown to see that he gets a fair trial, I have been given broad leeway to do what I must. I will say, killing a pirate goes a long way into getting into my good books.
Well, then by all means.
This guy is the monster you say he is. He's the kind of pirate we can get behind killing.
Sorry, doesn't say anything. She just rolls her eyes.
Do you happen to know anything about this person, Paul?
I barely got to really know him. Just that, let's just say he was a unique person, and I guess thinking about it now, this could be this so-called creature that we're facing could be him.
Is he just a guy with a sword? What's to look out for with them?
I mean, for the most part, he doesn't seem like he has much, in regards of to look out for, at least what I've seen from him, but, more or less, don't be surprised if you see anything black.
I thought he was red, not black.
Yeah, that is his name. Or
Rain? Kind of like not a whole lot of information. Could you?
I mean, there's not a whole lot of information I can really give you. I barely knew the guy.
My men should prove themselves able trackers.
I've been.
You cut out, love.
Yeah, you're.
Oh, she said I've been pretty good at tracking.
At this, she actually kind of looks surprised, and I thought I knew your kind to not be able to see in the daylight.
Like I said, me and my kind split a long time ago.
Doesn't really change the whole race thing, but
Are you? He looks to Grayling like, are you implying that various species can only be a certain way?
I mean, if you have your racial traits, like don't have to wear armor because of my scales.
Either way, I was just saying you're still a dark elf, regardless of if your family accepts you or not. Which means you're not as great in the daylight as you are at night. You're still good, but I've seen you do better at night, where others would have a harder time.
Very well, then we shall split the duties.
Is this island gonna have my favorite terrain, Matthew?
What are your favorite terrains?
Alright, hold on one second. Before I do that, to make sure I don't die, let me refill my stuff.
We'll come back to you. Greylog?
Okay. Let me features and traits.
There's only one thing I really want to do for the time being, for now.
Forest, Underdark, and Coast.
Alright, let me double check something real quick. And Greylog, what were you wanting to do?
All he's doing at this point is he's just gonna stay sitting, and he's pretty much just once again focusing on the nature spirits and stuff, and just putting off the idea of wanting to protect his friends. No personal gain, just protect.
Okay. You sit and meditate under the watchful iron sights of the crew. Avaben, getting a look at the island, it appears to be mostly forest with a mountainous center for the volcano.
Oh, which is one of my terrains. Well, forest is. What about parts that are forest and mountain?
I'll say, like, once you're clearly, like, climbing, at that point it'll segue to mountain.
Okay. Which is not a favorite terrain for mine. Because technically you can have forest, like, all the way up a mountain, almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this because it's volcanic, this one's going to basically, once you start climbing the mountain, count as mountain terrain.
Okay.
The crew of the Rotterdam returns. To their credit, unless the soldiers are lining their pockets, they've mostly left your cargo untouched. However, you all do note with some shock as one of them calls out, "Ma'am, we found a stowaway aboard!" She gives you all a kind of self-satisfied look before stomping to look over the railing. Bring them aboard!
I bet.
You all watch as Captain Thaun is wheeled over the gangplank.
Wait, Captain who?
The main captain.
Yeah, the captain of the ship.
The guy, we met him in the last session. I mentioned him during the recap I gave you. He is the ship's actual captain, but because he spends a lot of his time drunk in the hold, the first mate kind of took over.
Right, you decided to come back to this island.
I warned you. Cursed. But
we ain't dead yet.
We'll see if that changes. Throw him with the others. Anything else of suspicious note on that ship? Nothing, ma'am. Nothing we can find. Any of this black things to be on the lookout for? You said black whenever you were first saying it.
I just thought he was. I thought he was black. Thinking that I know his name was red, but I wasn't sure if it was like.
Ah, yeah, you're fine. Nothing seemed out of place, ma'am. The ship is poorly kept and in bad condition, but aside from the decks, which are rather clean, nothing else to report, ma'am. Very well. You're dismissed. She pats him on the shoulder, and he gives a nod and moves past her. The rest of you, we make sail for Suicide Hollow. Let us show these superstitious sailors how it's done. And like a machine, the Rotterdam readies to sail. Greylog, you sink into a meditation. Avaben, you all, and Ollie kind of crawl to sit closer to you as the musketmen do not take their sights off of you. Is there anything you all would like to do as the Rotterdam forcibly escorts you the rest of the way?
Let's go look to you all and Ollie and be like, so, are you still glad you came along?
Yes, actually. Avaben, what are you doing?
Excuse me?
This woman has a pistol to all of our heads. Why do you need to get into fights with her right now?
Well, right now I'm not getting into a fight with her.
You all, like, elbows you?
You know how much trouble they give us back, these people are trying to give us back home.
I'm not saying I'm particularly fond of them, but... Don't you hate it when people talk to you that way?
Like what?
Like you're just like everyone in the world you came from?
Except, okay. This situation is different whenever that person actually acts the way everyone expects them to.
You're making your friend upset. We need to watch each other's backs out here. We're outnumbered. If we start fighting amongst ourselves, we're not going to get anywhere. Except, well... And you all kind of nervously glances over the side of the ship.
Well, you heard her. Talking about how she thinks they're better than us. She literally said that. She agreed with her that they are better than us. You're going to tell me she doesn't, that is not in character for her people. As long as she continues to talk like that, she will not have my respect.
They both kind of look to each other and sigh before... Fine, just... Please, watch your temper.
Of course. I'm quite done antagonizing them for now. You know how I am, I like to push back.
I know. That's why we're here.
I bet I probably would have gotten into a lot less trouble back home if I was less combative.
Ollie kind of gives a... No kidding.
Paul's gonna get up.
Alright. Asari, what are you doing?
Steven. Just sitting.
Alright.
I didn't hear what she said.
She's just sitting. Paul, you get up. Your mic's really bad.
Oh my god. Hello?
Better.
Hello.
So I was saying that she's sitting and she's seething. She is so mad.
Mm-hmm.
What was she mad about?
Yeah, I wonder.
Paul, you get
I-
up.
Did everyone else hear the conversation?
Oh yeah, we heard it.
No, I mean, did everybody else hear? Yeah, in character, did they hear it?
Yeah, everyone was on board already whenever you were talking.
Just about.
Paul?
Again, I like how she's mad whenever she's the problem for acting like she's better than other people. I don't see how Avaben's the problem there.
Well, it's an in-character situation.
Yeah. And to be fair, you had lumped her in with all Britannians before she said that.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
You could have just told Bowman she was an ass. Like that's more what your friends were leaning into. Like you could have just said she's a homicidal maniac. Paul, where are you going?
Paul's gonna see about helping around, like mainly see about getting those. See what he can do to help get those cannons fixed.
Okay. You make your way below deck, and Bowman kind of watches you suspiciously, and you hear her bark out, "Where do you think you're going?"
Well, even if what I've heard is true about this island, we're probably gonna need all the weapons we can handle, and right now you don't really have any, so, well, I guess you have the front one, but it's not very helpful for running away.
Lieutenant Brand, accompany the prisoner. Ensure that there's no sabotage. Paul, you see another Bretonnian sailor give a bow to the captain. "Yes, Captain." And runs to you. "Repairing the guns, right? Come on, I'll walk you through it."
Alright.
Also, Vaven, to answer your question, no, the conversation you just had was private. I was saying that the conversation
Sorry, I
between...
thought you were saying that the conversation between Avaben, you all, and Ollie was...
No. I was saying the conversation between you, Asari, Greylog, and...
No, yeah, I
captain.
knew that conversation.
No, I thought that's the one you were referring to. Sorry. No, yeah, your conversation with your companions was private.
Okay, I thought... Because that was my assumption with the way it was context, so...
No, yeah,
it kind of put me off that whenever I thought... Oh,
no, yeah,
wait, everybody heard that?
No, yeah, like I said, I thought you were referring to the captain conversation. Yeah, you're good. That conversation was private. You're fine. Speaking of, Paul, as you're taken downstairs by Lieutenant Brand, Asari, you feel a weight against your back, and you see Anna is lying against you. She has that kind of look of tired excitement, and... Well, not exactly what we were expecting, huh? I'm assuming Asari's having mic trouble. We'll circle back.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
What happened?
Anna was talking to you. She's basically just saying, like, well, we're up shit creek, aren't we, basically?
She just kind of is like, oh my god. She is trying to get under my skin, and I'm trying everything not to just strangle her, you know?
I think the best thing we can do at this point is prove her wrong. Paul and Greylog are right. We don't have anything to hide from her. If she tries to kill us at that point, that's on her.
I mean, did you hear what she said? She said I wasn't Bretonnian.
Are you?
Yes, of course.
She kind of stares at you for a moment, and... Sorry. You don't live there anymore. You can't really stand for what they do, can you?
She kind of like looks like she's struggling to phrase what is in her mind. I mean, my mum is there, and you know, it's all I've known my whole life.
Well, look at you now. You've seen the world. You've been to places that even Bretonnian sailors never get to see. We're about to sail somewhere where no one has ever sailed, period.
That's quite exciting, isn't it?
Sorry. Did I ever tell you why I was at university when we met?
I don't think so.
because no one of my species had ever graduated that academy before. Do you really think I was the only one who was smart enough to?
I mean, I've never met anyone like you before, so I really can't make that judgment.
Professor Plaster, do you know how he got a teaching job there?
Oh.
He had to tell the Britannians what they wanted to know. Secrets about the Sherwood Forest, how to navigate it. That was the only way. You know him, he's really smart. But
Yeah.
they just couldn't see past the vines and bark, you know? It's hard for some people. I know it wasn't for you, but you were my only friend at that academy, Asari. Everybody else treated me like an animal.
Because they're stupid.
Because it's all they know. It's all they've ever known.
I mean, what do I call myself then, if not Bretonian?
It doesn't matter where you're from. What matters is where you are and who you're there with. And it's gonna be a pretty lonely little colony of yours if you're the only one in it.
I mean, Greg is obviously good, and I like Paul well enough. He's a sweet guy. It's just Fabian is so je ne sais quoi, you know?
I won't disagree with you. He's definitely a bit on the antisocial side. Tends to keep to himself, but look, I don't agree with the things he's saying. That's not it. Just look. This woman is flying our flag. She's here on permission from the Queen. If we went home right now, we'd be the ones thrown in chains. They don't think she's doing anything wrong. Do you want to end up like her? And she nods to your captor, who's just glaring at Suicide Hollow as she helps navigate the ship out that way.
So much hate.
You heard what she called us, right? Animals. Just because we fly a different flag. You've met the pirates. They're not as bad as she thinks they are. I'll admit I'm still scared witless of them, but, you know. They let you live. That counts for something in my book.
I mean, I met pretty nice pirates when we were on London. Nicer than some Bretonians I've known growing up.
Anna smiles, and she doesn't say anything. She just nods.
I'll try not to let her get under my skin. But when she helps me that way, and try to not let my temper go.
You have to watch that temper of yours. It's always gotten you into trouble.
I know it.
Look, just... if she's starting to get on your nerves, do what Paul and Greylog are doing. Just remember that if you survive this, you'll get to prove her wrong. And you will always love proving people wrong.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Coffee? She holds her thermos out to you. I think we're gonna need it. Oh my god.
I will take a very long swing.
Paul. As you're taken below deck by this Lieutenant Brand, you're shown to the first cannon where the crew is already starting to attempt repairs. They kind of glance your way suspiciously, but the lieutenant holds up a hand. Permission from the captain and from the lieutenant. They all nod and let you go about your business. And as Brand kind of starts directing you on how to repair the guns, he sits back and kind of watches to make sure you're doing it right before, to your surprise, actually getting involved himself and helping you along. As he does so, he kind of glances to you out of the corner of his eye, and I will admit I found myself rather curious. How did you do it?
How did I do what?
No one who flies that flag has ever negotiated a surrender from her.
Well, I think for starters, we've mentioned repeatedly that at least some of us on the crew of, I guess if you call it that, aren't really necessarily crew members, so...
Oh, passengers?
Merely we have asked them, we have paid these gentlemen to escort us to places, and they have happily, with some obviously fees, but they've happily accepted.
No honor among thieves, eh?
And then also, I mean, well, I think y'all were definitely probably still had the advantage, but we were definitely getting a bit more ground than I think was expected.
No kidding. I was on the gun deck when the first explosions hit. I didn't even see a cannon go off. Was it a sharpshooter?
I mean, I didn't really see what happened. I was on deck. I was on this ship when it happened. I just saw explosions.
Wow. Pull something like that off and you don't even have to bark orders for it. Well, color me impressed. So what brings you to a hellhole like this?
We got a message that one of or someone who wishes to trade with us happened to get lost or get something happened, and they are on the island now. We're coming to rescue them.
Lieutenant Brand looks surprised and is quiet for a moment before... Wow. I didn't think you actually meant that.
Yeah, I meant it.
It's not much, but I'll put in a good word for you when all this is over. The captain, she's a woman of her word, if nothing else. And I think I can convince her to go easy on you, seeing as you're, not pirates and all.
Hopefully this will all go smoothly, but first we have to make sure that if something does still bad happen, that we're prepared.
It's a bold move, repairing your enemy's cannons. Is it trust you're showing, or do you have a plan?
I guess you could say my trust is my plan.
That's a good answer. I think you do wonders on a proper ship.
Possibly. They don't really sell much often, but have had some good moments on sailing the seas. So I've also had some bad.
Well, if we make it through this, maybe you can tell me some of the stories sometime.
And that does sound nice. I'd be willing to share some of my tales if you're willing to share some of yours.
He gives a smile and he kind of looks around, almost sure nobody's looking before he holds a hand out to you. Errand.
I guess it'll be the first time, man. I'm trying to think how you pronounce it right.
If you're using your family name, Artabat.
I guess, yeah. Paul Artabat.
I'm not familiar with the name.
I wouldn't believe you would. It's not a name that is known to most people.
Quite right. Well, I wish you luck in finding this friend of yours. I'll do what I can to the captain.
I appreciate that. I guess he'll just.
The truth that you have nothing to find, nothing to hide from us. You have nothing to fear.
Well, just. I'm assuming you're just lifting some heavy stuff and just like, try to, I guess, follow the instructions that he was given to fix the cannon.
You all stay on the deck of Rotterdam as prisoners. The breaker is lost to the horizon, as is your only means of escape. Even those among you who are not experienced sailors know, even if you were to break out now, even if you were to kill everyone on this vessel who stands against you, there's no way your crew, even if all of them survived, would be able to sail this vessel out alone. Until you get back on the breaker, you are a prisoner of the Britannians. Until Bowman is satisfied. You begin to approach closer to Suicide Hollow. Avaben and Asari on the top deck, you see the crew beginning to kind of, like your pirate crew, beginning to get closer together, almost huddling as they see the volcanic mountain in the distance. Avaben, you can hear the Swabby, who you had given the warning to, muttering under his breath, just, don't think about treasure, don't think about treasure, don't think about treasure.
If you keep saying that, then in a way you're thinking about it.
Oh, God! Okay, headless chickens, old nuns, scorpions. Yeah, scorpions, I'll think about scorpions.
You're not really helping there, Vaven.
Oh, of course. Maybe I should let the better people handle this situation.
I never said.
Excuse me.
I just
I'm gonna challenge that. I want to challenge that DM.
What?
I mean, challenge it.
So let's rewind that conversation.
Yes, she did say it. Yes.
She said it.
However, I just said I don't agree with you saying that to him. But I'm not saying it's because I'm better than you. I'm just saying it's just not nice.
Like, what were the words the captain said?
They said basically like, yeah, just don't think of. You can't go to the island wanting to profit off of it. You have to go with completely.
No. The other captain, the pirate hunter captain.
She
said she said something to the effect of like that Britannians are better than others, right?
She had basically said that she considers herself better than pirates, just innately, certainly. Whether she believes that her Britannian heritage makes her better than literally everyone, you would have to question her further for.
Alright, we'll leave it for now. Because
Because
now Matthew's changing the story.
like immediately that you have to ask questions out of character.
In the distance, you can see the Adamic mainland, a few miles out east from Suicide Hollow. The Rotterdam. Oh,
I was just going to ask, during Greylog's meditation, does he get any senses from the nature spirits at all?
oh, okay. Roll religion.
Like, he's not just focusing on, like, wood or anything. He's, like, any nature spirits. Mostly because of the fact that it's getting to the point of now or never to be able to help his friends and them in general, since they want to take out all magic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Religion. There it is. $11.
You meditate and you focus, but you cannot make contact with the nature spirits. In fact, oddly, you find you actually can't even find any nature spirits, at least any that will answer you, even coming from the island. Despite its lush plant life, it's this, like, as far as you can tell, this almost spiritual dead zone. Things are growing, but it's all uncommunicative, unresponsive, as if no one, not even a druid, has disturbed it in quite a while. However, you do hear one sound through your meditative mind as you attempt to reach out to nature spirits. This thunking, almost like a woodpecker.
So they are watching and observing. That's enough for him. As long as he's being a good boy, he feels like, at least to a degree, they are watching to see if he's at least beginning to become worthy.
The ship drops anchor a distance away from the island. Ready the longboats. You five. Oh. She glances to Captain, who's just kind of drunkenly staring off into the distance. Load this aboard. I'll be joining him, along with you four. And she gestures to the...
You're cut.
Hello, hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Alright, sorry about that. Headset may have been doing a fuckery. She has said that she's going to basically load up Captain Thaun, along with herself, into a longboat, and wants the four of you to join her first ones to step on the island.
Alrighty then.
Alright, let's go.
Paul,
Does Anna want to come?
well, Anna wasn't given...
Oh, okay. So as I go, I'll just be like to Anna, don't worry, I'll bring you back a rock or something.
Well, with any luck, they'll let the river...
Cutting out.
Yeah, you can.
Take me with you. This friend of yours on the island, is he a pirate? Heal yourself. Okay.
Are you watching the video?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is it coming through?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why does it do that? Like, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Fuck, now I can't watch it. I was literally watching it back to try and find exactly what they said. I'm 90% certain Matthew remembered wrong.
Either way.
Yeah,
What did Anna say about me bringing her back a rock?
basically, she's gonna throw a huge temper tantrum on the ship if they don't let her aboard. But she's pretty confident that they will drag the island anyway.
Okay.
It doesn't come through when I mute, right?
Yeah.
If you're mute, yeah, it's just your mic picks up.
You all board the boat and are lowered down into the sea of glass. Paul, once the ropes pulled, Bowman pulls a pistol and points it, kind of leveling it between the two of you. Row.
You don't need the weapon.
Is everybody on the boat, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I'll row. Don't worry.
Really not necessary.
Hey, if it makes her happy, let her do it.
If you're not, it's my trigger discipline.
All shrugging.
Yeah, sorry, just takes in a deep breath.
You all row across the sea of glass. Thankfully, the journey to the island.
Oh my god. Ramirez, is he cutting that bad?
Again, my internet get really.
It's one of those times where his internet's bad. Be it.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Matthew, we knew him well. He was DM.
Yep. As Matthew is can no longer DM, I become DM. I as new DM level up.
Full of shit. Shit and beans.
There you go. You come back.
Aww. I'm just kidding.
I will not be supplanted.
No mutinies here.
As you near the island, you begin to take in what is actually on it. You see a deeply tropical jungle. The beach is populated with Asari. You see small, draconic lizard-like, long, feathery things, but they walk on. Arms seem to possess wing-like structures. These lizards kind of skitter around on the beach, sniffing around, although as the longboat approaches, they kind of nervously scatter and pull away. The jungle itself is thick and blooming with plant life, and you see Paul. You know some of the black Gigi birds country is fond of flying overhead. Rather odd, are not typically native to tropical areas. You see these strange lizard-like creatures scatter into the jungle as the boat hits the sand. Greylog, it's distant, but you think you can hear that same clicking you had heard in your meditation. Far away. Almost like this ambient jungle sound echoing out of the trees.
Nice. Can I locate it? Like which way it's coming from exactly?
Roll perception.
Okay. 21.
Keeping your ears peeled, it appears that there is an echo to the sound. But by your best guesstimate, it appears to be coming from far deeper in the jungle, near the volcano, but not quite on it.
You all hear that echoing sound from around the volcano area?
Do I, Matthew? It doesn't sound like a bird.
Yeah, it basically it almost comes off like a woodpecker, that kind of that you hear whenever woodpeckers are eaten.
Yeah. I mean, I just hear birds.
Maybe it is just birds, but I think there's more to it. But we'll have to wait and see when we start exploring, looking for our friend.
Quite right. You all are going to take the first steps into the jungle. Once you've deemed that an area is safe to traverse, by coming back in one piece, I will send my men to search. They're more than capable of locating your missing compatriot, but I also expect you to keep an eye out for our fugitive.
More than fair.
There's only 3 ways you're getting off this island. One is by doing everything I say. We'll find your companion and get him back to safe harbor, and if he is not simply delusional from the heat, eliminate this predator that pursues him, and if he is indeed here, I will accept the neck of Captain Red for the noose. The second way is you can attempt to do what's running through all your heads right now. Leave me for dead on this God's forsaken island and make a run for it, as it were. But there's nowhere for you to go. My ship will blast yours out of the water before you make it back to yours, and even if you did, well, it'd be a rather impressive feat for 4 people, and this one, she gestures to Captain Thaun, to sail a ship all the way back to pirate country alone. The third is, of course, you die, and I will see you delivered back to your home country with honors.
Well, that's more than I thought we would get, so that's very generous of you, at least.
I'm well known for my generosity.
Is she?
Roll history.
17.
Well, again, you're not necessarily an experienced sailor. You have heard whispers of the actions of pirate hunters, the Rotterdam being fairly famous among them. You would know that what she did to you guys, basically you go to her for negotiation, and then she immediately turns and attacks you during negotiations. It's by no means the first time she's done that. So if she can accept a surrender and then gun you down as you're pleading for your life, yeah, not exactly. Generosity is not one of her, not one of her many virtues, let's say.
It needs work. He's gonna smile to himself, but he's not gonna say anything. He knows better than that one. He's learning.
You, and she gestures to Captain Thaun, you will accompany them.
Is he fit?
Is that a question to me or to her?
To her.
Frankly, I don't care if he's fit. It's not my fault that you pirates tend to employ rum-pot deckhands.
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking. beg your pardon? I wasn't drinking down there. Well, then what were you doing in the cargo hold, cowering while the rest of your sailors, at the very least, put on a brave face? He doesn't answer. And she smiles proudly. As I thought. And she hoists him up by the wheelchair and throws him out into the sand of Suicide Hollow. I suggest you get cracking. It's probably going to take us a few days to search this entire island.
I'll take the lead.
Hey, wait, he's in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Eesh, what a heartless bitch.
I mean, what was it she said earlier? Like, I will kill you all down to the last woman and child.
Yeah, yeah.
So, just now.
Is he actually drunk?
Make a medicine check. He hoists himself back into his chair and kind of scowls at her before wheeling himself across the sand to you guys.
Natural 20.
He's not, but he smells faintly of gunpowder.
Can I offer him help?
Yeah,
I know for one, wheels and sand do not cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help Greylog.
He sees the two of you approach, but holds up a hand, and I'm more than capable of doing this on my own. Stay on your own 2 feet, eh, what? And watch them carefully. You never know what creatures are crawling about. Do all of us have socks?
She kind of gestures at her bare feet.
You still need to watch out for ticks, even with scales, young lady.
I'll be fine.
Well, at the very least, you may know that a warning was given. The rest of you, stay hydrated. Do not get your feet wet under any circumstances. Watch your backs. The creatures will see a turned back as a place to plant a knife, as it were. The rest of your crew will be joining us by the time you get back. With any luck, you'll find us some shelter.
Alright.
To know, good to know.
Guess I'll look to the captain a little bit. Is there any place you recommend starting?
The last time I was here, my love and I, we built a small base camp not that far into the jungle. Built in just in case of situations like this. It's not much, but with any luck, we can turn it into something great for us and the sailors until we manage to get out of the fine mess we've gotten ourselves into.
Very well, possibly. Maybe our friend has stumbled across it and is using it.
Well, would that not be a lucky streak, eh, what? Come along, follow me. I know the way. And he wheels himself ahead of all of you.
Okay.
Either that's one hell of a strong guy, or that's a really good wheelchair.
Actually, it's both. He's an artificer, so he designed his wheelchair, but he's also really fucking strong. Bear in mind,
Okay.
he was a high enough level adventurer in his heyday to go after a god, and he made it out alive.
Yeah, like as a disabled person who has a wheelchair, it's just like,
you don't have a wheelchair.
you know, it's like I can go through this. I should.
Should.
One.
As you all follow behind the captain, Bowman just sits in the longboat and watches the Rotterdam in the distance impassively, offering you no aid as you all head into the jungle.
Ah, fucker.
And no offense, I didn't want her aid anyways. She's more likely to
Yeah,
throw
right.
us as a distraction.
Devil of a woman. Her sailors caught me before I could execute my plan.
What's your plan?
And what? Plan?
The moment I saw that flag, I knew that we stood no fair chance against the Rotterdam in open sea combat. So I decided to go about a bit of a, shall we say, indirect form of warfare. Something I perfected back in my adventuring days. I was going to rig up an explosive, wait for her to board, and...
So you're going to destroy the entire ship and crew, or what was left of it, and hopefully try to take them out with you.
I was below deck, but I'm going to guess that you were all taken as prisoner aboard the Rotterdam before the ship was searched.
True.
You would have lost nothing of value in the blast.
Well, that's not true. I mean, you would have lost.
All I've accomplished as captain is being a rum pot in the hold and getting my crew in this mess. I know that ship. If I had been on the deck as I should have been, I could have warned us of what was coming, devised a plan. It's my fault we're here. Thus, it's my duty as your captain to get you off this island in one piece.
I mean, as noble as it all is, your idea of self-sacrifice, what exactly would we have done after that?
The Rotterdam has a weakness, one I know how to exploit. Unfortunately, we're not in a position to do so now. All it would do now is buy us more time.
What is that weakness?
Bowman Brand cannot resist a target. The man who taught her everything she knows, his favorite tactic was burning the field to draw out the rabbits, as it were. Well, a good girl of the Queen's crown can't exactly be seen purporting such brash tactics, so she was encouraged to try a different approach. She seeks out individual targets. I suspect that's why she's here. Given the location of this island, and the description I got of that sailor we took aboard, I'm going to guess it's not a coincidence that a pirate hunter is here. Am I wrong?
No.
If you find yourself at Captain Brand's mercy, and need to buy yourself even an extra 24 hours of life, there is one trick that always works. Promise her another target. She'll only promise you an extension, but if you can lead her to another target, she's easily distracted. Her vanity gets the better of her, as it were. She's convinced we're so beneath her that we could never be competent enough to spring a trap. So that's exactly what I learned to do.
Oh yeah. I hate people like that. I think just because of circumstances that they are just inherently better.
Quite. I know the feeling. And he wheels himself along. Thank you, all of you. The circumstances may not be ideal, but if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have found my courage. Even if it's my fate to die here, well, I go in peace. I know what awaits me. But as your captain, and under the payroll of Brother Cancer, it is my duty to ensure you get what you're here for and get off this island.
We also need to get the merchant. If we're here for treasure, then we all die. But if we help this merchant, which is the right thing to do, we should be fine.
Well spoken of Ibn.
Also, would you happen to know anything about the target we've kind of promised her. You seem to know a bit about pirates.
Who's her target?
Apparently a
Red.
pirate going by Red. And has a
Captain Red.
tendency to... and apparently has interesting dining choices.
Correct. Back before you and your companions joined our little treasure hunt, we offered him, Paul, and your little pixie friends passage on the breaker. I'm not going to break any bones about this. We were hired because we were the cheapest. But, well, I may have failed you, but the first mate has done his duty well. He ensured that all deliveries were made properly. Unfortunately, we were not told very much about the nature of the people we were transporting. Now, Paul and the Pixies were perfectly companionable sailing comrades. Paul, I may have been quite in the bottle at the time, but I do still remember the kindness you showed me, though, those years ago. But not him. He was a different sort. Frankly, he's the sort of person that makes me wonder if Bowman is right. A disgrace to pirates. They say that Captain Red is cursed. All pirates who sail red colors are. It's a color you do not want on a vessel, put mildly. There's a reason most pirates favor black or blue. Red draws the ire of spirits, and that's exactly what happened. Captain Red was caught in a shipwreck. Nobody knows exactly what happened to allow his survival, but I met him afterwards and arrived at a few guesses. He's bound himself to some sort of monster. A creature that haunts the Underdark. And it drives those it bonds to feed on the flesh of man, to sate an ever-growing gluttony.
Does he get anything out of this arrangement other than being resurrected?
Yeah.
I've never met another man like him, a willing host to a creature like that. But this is merely my speculation, you understand, eh, what? But I believe it may simply be a combination of bloodlust, and he believes the strength of this creature will offer him something. What that could be, I'm afraid I don't know. Perhaps he seeks revenge on those who sunk his vessel. Perhaps he seeks revenge on a perceived traitor. Or perhaps there is no reason for it at all. He simply wishes to kill and devour as many people as possible, and perhaps strike it rich in the process.
So what, is this thing just make him, like, much stronger or something?
I only ever saw it once. When our team first encountered the boomer gangers on the Tortage docks. But what I saw frightened me. He grew to twice his size, cut a man to ribbons, and threw him over the side. The rest of the dead, he ate.
Ugh.
That is quite a story. Can you second this, Paul?
Yeah, I can definitely recall that night, that morning. It wasn't very pleasant. I mean, it's also the day we met this day we met the doctor lady. Like I said, he's not a very pleasant person to be around. Though I don't know. At least when I met him, he didn't seem like he came across as someone who'd go at least this far, but...
Perhaps the hunger of the creature has drawn him here.
Perhaps.
I also think that there might be something up with the nature spirits here. They're not very active for an area like this, except for what sounds like possibly one. Is it possible to trap a spirit?
Spirits can be trapped in all sorts of ways, dear boy.
Yeah, I have a book about it. I think it says something about this. Let's go try to flip through to trapping spirits or something like that.
Roll a nature check with advantage.
Nature check. How good is Vaben at nature? He's pretty damn good at nature.
Yeah, I hope so, as a rogue or a ranger.
It's with advantage?
Yeah, because you have a book. Yeah, that was my that was the deal.
27.
All right. Yes. Before so basically you can choose if you want to deliver this or not. Yes, you know that spirits can be bound in multiple ways. You can use arcane chants and spells to bind them into either a circle or an object. Putting them in an object is most common. You also know that spirits can just naturally be trapped in areas. For instance, a spirit that dies in a house may struggle to leave it. So yeah, spirits tend to be bound to like either small localized areas or even individual objects, and they can be forced there by a strong enough spellcaster.
I will just say that Vaben just said what you said.
Okay.
Makes me wonder if there's a spirit trapped here. If there is, I want to try to free it.
Perhaps you may be onto something, dear boy. Set free a nature spirit, we earn its gratitude and earn a much-needed ally in our current circumstances.
Exactly.
Note that down. We'll launch an expedition as soon as we can. First, we need to ensure the crew's safety. While I do not think the bowmen will simply execute them with for the laughs, as the children say. I would rather they be behind our backs than under her thumb. Eh, what?
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
It should just be a bit further ahead. Oh, and be cautious of the pine devils, dear.
Pine devils.
Those little creatures that were basking in the beach. They've scattered for now, but they're tracking us. Do not wander off alone.
Are they
Know anything
intelligent?
about pine devils?
Roll nature at Actually, no, roll nature flat.
Me?
Yes, and Grayla, what were you saying?
Are pine devils intelligent at all? Like,
Are you asking him that?
yes.
They are rather intelligent, at least as much so as a beast can be.
So Vaben got a 22.
You are familiar with pine devils. They aren't super common, but you do know that they are an underdark species of lizard that occasionally wander in small packs up to the surface. You've seen them and even hunted them occasionally prowling in Sherwood. Usually they wandered up from your birthplace in the Underdark, wandered up through the tunnels, made it to the surface, and then just started hunting.
Are they very dangerous?
In packs, yes, but on their own, individually, no.
Very well. Also, I was going to ask if Vaben knows of any creatures, monsters, or such forth that fit the description he was given by the captain for this red fellow.
For that one, I know I've asked you to make like 3, but for this one, roll nature again.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm good at nature.
Yeah, just because this is a very different question than do you know something that literally lives in your local area.
29.
You are familiar, mostly because he wasn't lying. It's a creature of the Underdark. Avaben, you know of this fabled predator. You've never encountered one, and you hoped you never would. It's spoken of in whispers among Underdark dwellers. Supposedly, this creature, this parasite, bonds itself to a host and grants them these enhanced abilities that others of the typical species would not possess. They mostly favor specific creatures, humans being quite popular. They are feared in the Underdark as they often seem at least intelligent enough to deliberately seek out those with some form of power. Politicians, strong warriors, things of that nature. What one would want with someone like Red, who, from the sounds of it, was already kind of unpopular even before he got hit with it, you're not sure, but you know that they are a deeply, almost not obligatory, like as an obligate. They are obligate carnivores, and specifically, at least from the stories you've heard, will only ever feast on sentient thinking beings. You've never heard of one feasting on an animal.
Are there any legends of specific ones, maybe?
There are. It was spoken of mostly in the church where you were born, so obviously you don't remember it super well, but you kind of vaguely have some distant memories of stories you heard growing up. 2 of these creatures came to this world, first discovered in the Underdark by a nest of arachne, hence your species' interest in them. The 2 took on hosts and began to slaughter everyone in the Underdark, until the arachne, desperate to save their own, offered one of their most lovely daughters to the demons as blood money to stem it. They both went by 2 names, the Sea of Spiders and the Bed of Thorns. The Sea of Spiders accepted the deal, entranced by her beauty, her love of all life. And seeing the world through this kind arachne girl's eyes, he betrayed the Bed of Thorns and escaped the Underdark and learned more about the world. Eventually, as all things do, his host eventually died. But the Sea of Spiders had taken her lessons deeply to heart, and rather than take a host against their will, he found a dying spider to take as a host. Eventually, the Sea of Spiders simply disappeared, although you have heard legends of them building up goblin followers in Levant. But the Bed of Thorns, who has not learned the lessons of their comrade, is still known to this day to haunt the Underdark. But while they will eat anything, according to the old legend, the Bed of Thorns still resents the Sea of Spiders for their betrayal and considers the Sea of Spiders their ideal prey that they will stop at nothing to consume.
Was there a description of these 2, like what their kind of form looked like?
Before they took on hosts, they were glimpsed briefly by Underdark explorers. That's actually how they got their names. The Sea of Spiders was a black and blue swarm, almost like a moving ocean, The spider's nickname came from their association with the arachne, but the legend spoke of it as if a small tide was given form and came to attack them. The bed of thorns, meanwhile, was described as red with some black striping. The thorn nickname coming from the tendency for, rather than the smooth, lapsing waves of the Sea of Spiders, everywhere the bed of thorns moved, spikes would emerge, weapons, blades, as if it simply wanted to destroy everything it touched.
Interesting. Vaven wants to ask the captain.
Of course.
You said you saw the transformation, I guess you can say, for red.
Glimpsed it while I was coming out onto the deck.
What color was it?
Red, fittingly enough.
With some black?
Indeed. Do you know of this?
There is a legend in the Underdark. One I don't remember all the details for, but one I did hear in my short time there. Of a creature known as, what was it, the Sea of Spikes?
The red ones was the Bed of Thorns.
Known as the Bed of Thorns.
Ah. I've heard the stories.
You said it was able to slash things apart.
It's a living weapon. If the stories are to be believed, everywhere it goes, there is death and destruction. A herald of sorts. I've heard some even worship them as gods.
I can certainly see, from the stories I've heard, I can certainly see how one might think that.
Care to disagree?
No, they certainly are. If the stories are to be to believe, they are certainly very dangerous things when they want to be. And this one wants to be all the time.
Quite. And unfortunately, I doubt our ghost stories are going to convince our captor to stay on the safety of the ship. All of us are in danger as the longer we're on this island.
We must finish our work quickly.
Quite. We're almost to the shelter. As long as it's still intact, we can report back that we found a place where everyone can stay. Like I said, it's not much, but it should suit us just He pauses in shock as all of you look and see... You're not quite sure what you were expecting? Maybe a small thatch village at best. More likely just a, small cabin for just him and a few necessities. But you find an entire town's worth of structures. There's lights. There's, small little tiny gardens growing. It's obviously not bustling. There doesn't even appear to be anybody here, but it's well constructed. An entire town basically just condensed onto this little clearing in the island.
What the fuck?
I didn't build this.
You did.
You all hear a slight clatter from one of the buildings. You can see Captain Thown immediately reaches for a small grenade on his belt and readies a match as he glares suspiciously in the direction before backing out of the building. You see what appears to be a somewhat older-looking human man who turns his attention to all of you and smiles and... Oh, you finally arrived. Excellent. Let's get started then. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
We don't get a description of him?
I was going to save that for next time.
Oh.
Very interesting.
So, you're now the prisoners of John Bowman Brand, the Pirate Hunter, who has agreed to, for now, spare your lives in exchange for the head of the fugitive she's hunting, Captain Red, and the proof that your claims of simply being here to help a friend in need are truthful. Captain Thown has, much like you all suspected he would, snuck his way aboard to accompany you, and seems intent on redeeming himself to the crew or dying in the process. You wander the island and found that Klavak the Ever Prepared is right. He's set up basically a small little hotel for himself out here in the jungle waiting for you. Your stay here may at least be comfortable, but the pirate hunters are breathing down your neck for results. And more pressingly, this horrible entity, seemingly the parasite that once controlled the body of former party member Captain Red, has come to the island to hunt and has marked this merchant as his prey. Which means you and your crew, many of which are civilians, may well be in danger. You need to get off this island and get off it fast, but you're not getting off of it until you give the pirate huntress what she wants.
Well, we could. It's just the crew is fucked.
Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. We're down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer press-ganged by a pirate hunter. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. And check out Odd Tornado Productions on YouTube to catch up on what you may have missed. Check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon, that link to be posted. On Ko-fi at kofi.com/oddtornadoproductions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/tornadoodd. The TNO are capitalized to get immediate updates whenever we go live, as well as updates on our other projects. If you like this party and want to see more of them, plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they can stop stabbing each other in the back long enough. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.
Hey.